What's up, gamers? This is NGG here with another review video. This time it is for Trine 4 on the Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna now have to start saying 1 because this is Nintendo Switch 1 copy of Trine 4. And I did not review this game alone. We're gonna...
Hey everyone, my name is Devine, Cummings voice acting here today, and I'm here to review Trine 4 with Nintendo Gamer Gal here today, and thank you for having me.
And we are happy to have him. So today we're going to be discussing the Trine 4. We did the trilogy already because we played it together along with one other person. And today we're going to be handling Trine 4, which is, even though it's only 3 characters, it is a 4-player game if you do the unlimited mode, which is how we played it, as a 4-player online co-op experience. The other 2 players will not be joining us, but we will be handling it for them. Now, we're gonna cover story, gameplay, and we will give it a rating for you like always. Go ahead, let's kick it off with the story.
Alright then, so story-wise, the 4th game does not follow up after the 3rd game. Weirdly enough, it's almost like it was done by a different team. But in the 4th game story, the team or the band, they're all together actually in the 4th one. But the only thing is, they have to find a prince, and what this prince is supposed to be is he's supposed to take the throne of his dad or whatever, the previous king that is supposed to have died. Like I said, this doesn't really follow the storyline of the last game. So they go off through these different lands and different landscapes or whatever have you and come across the prince. The only issue with the prince is that he is being possessed by his shadow or his inner thoughts or his whatever insecurities that he might have within himself to become king of whatever ruler that they're trying to get him to. So you're essentially going through a lot of the levels, if not the missions, trying to find him. And then when you do get to him, you then have to find an elixir. And what this elixir is supposed to do is supposed to kill whatever this shadow version of the prince is supposed to be. And that's essentially the entire story through and through. It's not very complex. It's not very mind-blowing by any chance. It's just get to point A to point B, and essentially what point A and point B is, get to the prince, and when the prince runs away, find the prince, and once you find the prince, defeat whatever is holding him back from becoming king of whatever land, and then that's the end of the story. I hate to break it to you, but that's essentially it.
Yeah, so the story is super not complex. I will say, though, it kind of counterintuitive the first game, which was that there was no heir to the throne. So in the first game they tell us there's no heir to the throne, and in this one there's an heir to the throne. It does also not feel like the story matches at all with number 3, like you said. Number 3 does feel like it's done with a different company, in-house company. Alright, so let me handle gameplay. So for us, it was a little different in the gameplay because, again, we were playing 4 people this time, and we were using unlimited mode, which allows you to switch your character to different characters whenever you want. So essentially, in the last couple of games, I was always the only one being the thief, so I would handle anything that the thief would handle. My sister would always handle the wizard's role, and Minako would always handle the knight's role. But in this one, we could all be the same character at once. It wasn't like, oh, if somebody's this character, somebody else has to be a different character. No, we were all the same, could be all the same characters as one. So it made it a little less hard to figure out the puzzles if we know, oh, the knight, all he has to do is bang on this thing and jump up, and we can now all go without having to wait. Now the one person helping everybody up is less important because now we can all help ourselves. That's the one thing about this game I didn't like, which was that you couldn't lock yourself into a character if you didn't want to. My sister kind of soft locked herself into a character. She just wanted to stay being the wizard and not doing anybody else. But I was like, you know what? Whatever's gonna get me going to the next puzzly place, let's get going. Even though I would have rathered it be that, but for some reason when you play with 4 players you have to play on unlimited mode. When you play with 3 players you could put it on regular mode. So keep that in mind when you're picking what kind of style you want to play. Now In terms of gameplay, the movements are the same. The thief is kind of like the hook shot person. She will have the hook shot. She will move you from place to place, holding things. You could tie boxes together. The knight kind of is like reflecting things, moving. You can move water on his shield. He's also pushing things hard. He's also banging things down. And the wizard is your levitation. He's gonna move things around for you, move boxes, put ladders, put platforms. And those are your movements of your characters and how you're solving these puzzles. I will say the puzzles in this one were pretty hard to figure out. Only, and I think it was a little like if we had bun on regular mode, it would have been harder. It was a little easier because we could be all the different characters and like, oh, you have 2 boxes, I have 2 boxes, and you have 2 boxes. Let's all combine our boxes so we can create a ladder and get out of here. So I don't know if the puzzles would have been harder to figure out had we not been on unlimited mode, but that's how we played, so that's how I'm going to talk to you about it. Other than that, the gameplay was fun. I like the gameplay better than in 3. I think it brought it back to its origins from 1 and 2. And I think that's it for gameplay. I mean, you would have been seeing it on the screen all this time while I'm talking how the gameplay went. Now let's get into rating of Trine 4. What would you rate Trine 4?
I don't know. The reason why I asked, because I'd give it a 1. This is definitely like the worst one, even out of like the trilogy, or even besides from the trilogy. This is definitely like the worst one, just because for the simple fact, like, aside from the story not going anywhere and not being a follow-up, the gameplay just, I don't know if it was the mode that we were playing, but it was just like, a lot of times, like, the wizard just felt like he would just hard carry most, if not all, the levels throughout the games, because a lot of times you would go through like a section or a mission and it's just like, okay, the wizard has to put this together, or you have to use the wizard or the thief to combine this together to make that. I mean, granted, the knight has his like shield, which can like make clones for the light to like barricade, but really it's just a wizard hard carrying everybody through and through. And then not only that, but then it's just like you get to like certain boss sections and that becomes annoying. And then if I'm not mistaken, I think there was like an issue with like save states or like checkpoints where if you didn't manually save, it would like take you to the back at the beginning of the level. And then not only that, the last boss is not fun like at all. So it's just with this 4th game, I really would want to give it a fucking 0, but with this 4th game, it gets a 1 just because it's just like you're playing through the trilogy and then you get to this one and it's just like it becomes a worse and worse experience as more the later titles go on. It's just like, just kept what you would have just done in the 1st and 2nd game. You ought to have been all right. So I think for me, that's why it gets a 1 out of 5. They tried to like combine abilities and mechanics with the characters, but then you just end up making the gameplay worse instead of enhancing it and making it better. And then the story ain't much better on top of it. And then it just ends on a cliffhanger like, yeah, the real Trine was the friends we made along the way. No. So for me, it gets a 1 out of 5 overall.
Wow, I actually thought you enjoyed it more. I mean, I know that the boss fight was a pain, until we figured something out when we were trying to play it as a 3-player experience when it came to the boss fight, because one of our players couldn't play and they said, go ahead, play without us. But, and before we figured out the trick to it, it was a pain to try to beat the boss the way we were trying to beat the boss, and we were at it for 4 hours. So I knew you were gonna give it a knock for that, but dang, a 1. I'm gonna say I thought this game was great. I'm not gonna go as high as a 5, but I would say a 4. I actually enjoyed the game. I thought it had a meaty experience. I will put how long it took to be on the bottom here. I think it was 10 hours. I could be wrong. But, I didn't think the game was horrible. I thought the game was great. I thought it was more of the same Trine, and I liked part 1 and 2. I didn't like 3. So as long as it doesn't seem like 3 to me, I was fine. I thought it had a pretty long story, and I don't know that it left on a cliffhanger. I'm trying to remember the end. It's been like maybe a month since we played it, so it might have left on a cliffhanger, but either way, I can tell you how
I can tell you how the story ends.
No, not now. Not now. Afterwards. But either way, I enjoyed the story. I didn't hate it. I liked it. So yeah, I think a 4 for me. I think a decent 4. I was torn between a 3.5 and 4, but I gotta knock it up a half a point for the dang one you gave it. Gotta give it a better score. All right, but let Minako give us his exit ticket.
All right. Well, you can find me at Devine Cummings Voice Acting on YouTube, as well as Devine Cummings Voice over on Twitter, and again at Devine Cummings Voice Acting on Blue Sky, because clearly that's better than the other one. But besides from that, thank you, Nintendo Gamer Gal, for having me here today, and I'm glad to be a part of this video. Any other social media pages will be in the description of this video and the link below as well.
Yep, all of
Being
our socials will be down there below where you can find us both. And again, thank you guys for watching. If you played Thrive 4, who do you agree with their score? Do you agree with him or do you agree with me? Or would you give it somewhere in the middle? Let us know in the comments below. Or is it making you want to figure out where you would fit in between us? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, if you've made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. See that highlighted button. And thanks for watching. Happy gaming, guys. Bye.